Good morning and welcome to my first video. I'm going to start the day with going for a walk with my dog and then having a cup of coffee. Seems like I'm making a lot of coffee, but don't worry, it's not just for me. So in my coffee, I'm starting with a little bit of milk and then sweetened condensed milk and then coffee. And I know that makes me a wimp, but that's how I like my coffee. I'm putting the kettle on so I can have some boiling hot water because I need to use it to clean out my old candle jars. These are just jars that I use for testing new ideas for my candles. And you don't have to worry. I don't let the wax go down the drain, but also I use coconut soy wax, so it is very malleable and easy to clean up. A little bit impatient and I poured this one out too soon, but I'll show you. It's really easy to clean up this wax. None went down the drain, some did stick in the sink, but because it's such a soft wax, it was easy for me to clean up. The rest I just let sit until they cool down and the wax floats to the top, and it's a really easy cleanup. And this is what I mean when I say letting the wax come to the top. As the wax cools, it'll float to the top of the water, and then I just have to peel it out, and now I have a relatively clean jar. So now I'm going to be trying a new style of candle making to me. I have been a candle maker for over 10 years. My shop is new, but being a candle maker is not. But this is a fun new thing I'm testing out. When testing candles, I usually only do one or two at a time, and I test, and retest. So today I'm just doing one candle. Something to remember when candle making is you want to do everything by weight. That's how you can duplicate your formula and make sure that you're consistent with all of your candles. Something I started way back when I first took on candle making as a hobby that I still do is I consistently stir my wax and fragrance oil together for at least a minute and a half. A lot of people say that that's too long, but I find it's kind of perfect. I usually do about 2 minutes, and then my candle wax is at the perfect temperature for pouring. Now, if I was making this candle to sell, I would not be using a chopstick to center the wick. I have wick centers, but because I'm doing this for me and it's just for fun, I'm doing a little bit old school and I'm using a chopstick. But I would not suggest this as a means for candles, for centering a wick, if you plan on giving them out as gifts or selling them. And you can see I used a little bit of eco-friendly mica to give the candle a little bit of razzle-dazzle. So even when I'm just making candles for myself, something I always do is let my candles do their first cure for a full 24 hours. I try to pour in an area where they can be left alone and I don't have to move them around too much. That's something that I started within the first year of being a hobbyist candle maker, and it's something I still do. So while those candles are setting, I'm moving on with my day and watering some of my houseplants. It's the next day and I'm ready to keep going with candle making. Now this is the first time, or I believe it's the first time I've done a candle like this, and you'll see I make a very big mistake. I trim my wick way too short because what I'm planning to do is put a hole through the wax that I put into the rose mold and then slip that over the candle. And because I cut the wick so short, I made it so difficult for myself to try to get that rose through the wick. I finally did get it. It took a very long time. You'll see I cut the video. But if you try to do this at home, please leave your wick as long as possible because it makes it so much easier. Learn from my mistakes. You can see I realized my mistake. I've cut it way too short and this is going to be an ordeal. It took me probably like 6 or 7 minutes. Not that long in the grand scheme of things, but I was very frustrated with myself. But I did it. I finally did get it through, and I was ready to test this candle. As you can see, another rookie mistake. I'm tilting the flame and not the candle. I must have been really a lot more nervous filming myself than I really thought about, because you always want to tilt the candle, not tilt the flame. Remember that. And I let that candle go for about 4.5 hours. That's as long as you really want to let any candle go, and that's what I usually do for testing. If I'm trying to push and see a burn, I might let it go a little bit longer, but safety, you don't want to let a candle go more than 2 to 4 hours. That's going to end my first video. Thanks for coming along. Till next time.